pathways to get to the right brain cell or combination or series of brain cells to make that information available to you on a frontal lobe conscious level. It's all there. Whatever it is that you want, that you've ever learned or saw or heard, is all there. It's just that you've never really put it in. I mean, this is why people have so-called super memories, because they actively and consciously make a determination that they're going to file something in a particular part of their brain, and they're going to recognize and be able to easily recall the pathways or connections to get that file. That's all it is. I don't know, you probably thought you never learned this kind of stuff on a current events political talk show, but I told you I have interests all over the place. Speaking interests all over the place, those of you, and speaking of foreign language, those of you who know Russian, right now, the Russians, they are suffering from well, that's French. Russians are suffering from, that's a French accent. The Russians are suffering through now one of the coldest, worst winters on record. People are freezing to death up in Mother Russia. It is the motherland. Motherland, Russia. Glasnost, where the men drink vodka, and the men are scared of the women because they drink vodka. Vodka, too. And it's not even keeping, the vodka is not keeping. I saw a joke the other day about Russians and vodka. Russians use vodka like Americans use duct tape. It has many uses. They do love their vodka up there. That is I think it's their national drink, right? Is vodka. Just, pretty much like wine is French. Everybody thinks of, French, it is so French. It's such a French wine. Especially champagne. Champagne is so French. Yeah, there you go. So, but you're going to have a lot of, like I said before, and what are they saying? And I just pulled this up during the break about Russia having a freezing fit up there. As low as minus 50. And that's a warm day, I guess. I don't know, wouldn't it? Isn't that terrible? That you live in an area, you live in a part of the planet at a certain period of time in the year when you hope to God the temperature rises to 0. Because minus 50, a lot of cars won't start. No matter what you do to them. No matter what kind of that's just cold, man. I can't. I'm sorry. You people who want to go to like the South Pole and sit down there for months at a time and study the South Pole, and you Americans that are up in the Arctic Circle in Alaska, and you Canadians that are up there in the Arctic Circle, God bless you. You want to put up with 3 to 6 months worth of darkness and have the temperature a high of negative 25? Yeah, fine. That's idiocy in my book. No, we got too many warm places. Humans were not made for that. That's why we all look like a bunch of, remember Randy from the Christmas Story? That's why everybody looks like that, because in such cold temperatures, because our bodies are not made to withstand that kind of extreme cold. But there are people that live there and they love where they're living. But yes, we've got some doomsdayer nut jobs out there claiming, see, this is man-made global climate change. I thought it was global warming. What was that movie? Was it called The Day After? What was the the worldwide disaster movie? I think it was Ben Affleck was in it. Global warming. It caused the ocean currents to stop and plunge the northern half of the world basically into a new ice age overnight, basically. And it was due to the fact that we had heated the ocean so much that the current just stopped. And because the current stopped, it plunged the world into an ice age. They were covering both areas. I saw the movie and I thought, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And one of the liberal political themes that they threw in there, and people have forgotten about this, but guess where the United States government moved? Because the ice age, whatever, the real cold engulfed Washington, D.C. too. So it had the government, more than half the United States had to move south. Guess where the United States government, they didn't move to Florida. In the movie, the United States federal government did not move to Florida. You know where because Florida was warm enough. You know where it moved to? It sought out permission to move to Mexico. And Mexico at first said no. Why? Because we wouldn't let Mexicans into our country when we had the opportunity. That was in the movie, folks. Just saying. I think it was the day after or something like that. Just, go rent it. You'll see what I'm talking. It's not even. If you got Netflix and it's not going to cost you anything. I mean, hell, man, it's not even worth, what is it, $1.50 at Netflix? It's not even worth that. I mean, really. And might I add, I was not a fan, speaking of movies, of the latest Batman movie. I saw it. I thought it sucked. Yes, other than after I got used to the fact that the guy playing Bane was channeling Sean Connery, I thought he was an awesome character. But otherwise, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt played a great detective. And from what I saw in the end, it seems to me like they were building him up and positioning him to be Robin. I don't know. So I guess the next movie is going to be a Batman and a Robin, because it is entitled The Dark Knight Rises. I don't know, but Bruce Wayne is dead. He no longer has a mansion, and therefore he's no longer wealthy and rich. So I don't know how the hell he's supposed to afford all that the Bat stuff. But it is what it is. I wasn't too particularly impressed with the last Batman movie, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he might do well as a Robin. But he's a detective. And they got the movie. It is so far out of whack. They do this with the movie versions of superheroes. I mean, the Batman is just they've really twisted Batman so bad. I mean, it's just way out of whack. It really is. But maybe they'll start over now, like they did with Spider-Man, which wasn't a very good read. It was kind of like when they tried to do Superman, and now we're gonna have a new Superman, and they changed his suit, so he doesn't have the red underwear anymore. The red tighty whitey. He looks like, I don't know. He looks like a Smurf. Because his suit, have you seen this? He looks the suit is all this blue with a red cape. He looks like a freaking caped Smurf. I hope the movie is going to be better than his suit. I'm just saying. Because I don't think it was Brandon Routh's fault that the last Superman redo was so bad. It was just awful to begin with. But no, he wasn't a great actor. But, we're not looking for a great actor to be a superhero. Christian Bale, anyone? If he probably heard that and was standing in front of me, he'd probably punch me. I've heard he's got a legendary temper. But in any case, the freedom of an armed society from the New York Times op-ed. What I'm going to. The past couple of weeks, I haven't been bothering to update the website, rodeccles.com. I've been putting a lot of stuff over on the fan page because I just want people to get used to having a couple of places to go. Although I hear some stuff coming up with Facebook that just may cause me to dump it. But I'll put a link of this story over on the fan page on Facebook. It's facebook.com/The Rod Eccles Show. It's easy to find. The freedom of an armed society. The night of the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newton, Connecticut. This is a piece by Furman de Brabander. Yes, de Brabander. I'm thinking I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. His first name is Furman, Firmin. Debrabander, Debrabander. Now, I'm not sure what ethnic background that is. But I know some people say, well, that doesn't matter, Rod. Yeah, it does matter. It tells you where they're getting their thought process from, or why they have the thought process that they have. I was in the car with my wife, he says, and children working out details for our eldest son's 12th birthday the following Sunday, convening a group of friends at a showing of the film The Hobbit. Liked it. Saw it, liked it. Didn't love it, liked it. The memory of the Aurora movie theater massacre was fresh in my mind, so he was concerned that it not be a late-night showing. At that moment, like so many... What, we're now going to be afraid to go to the movies? Americans, liberals. At that moment, like so many families, my wife and I were weighing whether to turn on the radio and expose our children to coverage of the school shootings in Connecticut. We did. The car was silent in the face of the flood of gory details. When the story was over, there was a long, thoughtful pause in the back of the car. Then my eldest son asked if he could be homeschooled. If the kid actually understood how much he was being robbed of an education, he'd ask to be homeschooled, going to a public school. Yeah, you can read the whole ridiculous op-ed piece for yourself. I'll post it over after the show. I'll post it over there on the Facebook fan page, or like page as it's now called. Discovery Channel. Poor Ted Nugent. The Discovery Channel kicks Ted Nugent to the curb. Yes, this is the raw story. In addition to canceling its popular American Guns reality show, the Discovery Channel confirmed to the Raw Story on Tuesday that firearms enthusiast Ted Nugent will also not be returning to the channel in any form or fashion. Oh, because they glamorize guns. Speaking to Raw Story in remarks specified as not for attribution, a spokesperson admitted that Ted Nugent's Gun Country didn't do very well when it aired in October, even with fellow firearm fashionistas. Nielsen ratings placed the viewership at about 864,000 people in all, but the network's decision not to is not just about the numbers. Of course not. But 864,000 people were watching Ted's Nugent show. That's still about as twice as many are watching CNN, or excuse me, MSNBC right now. CNN. CNN is like dead last in everything. I mean, they're lucky if they get 300,000 people to watch. So Ted Nugent was beating out CNN, and yet they still cancel him. Obviously, it was because of what happened last Friday. Otherwise, why would they also cancel a very popular show for the channel, American Guns? Now, understand, folks, this is the Discovery Channel. It's not like they're getting 18 million people watching any of their shows. Just saying. So Nugent had slightly under 1 million people watching his show, which is about 2 to 3 times more than the best show on CNN. And yet, Ted gets canceled. Oh, no. And they're saying, well, it's because of poor ratings. Really? Well, for cable, that's not too bad. For these off Broadway cable channels like the Discovery Channel, that's not all too bad, considering that a founding cable channel like CNN can't even garner half that audience. Oh, you better believe they got pressured to get rid of Ted and everybody else on their programs that highlight guns in a real-life fashion. But I guarantee you, nobody's going to cancel any cop show or any criminal show or any other show that uses guns if it's written and presented in a script format. Guarantee it.
I always loved watching the kids play basketball. I still do, even though things have changed. It's funny, they can't find jobs to get their careers started, and I can't afford to retire. And now we're all living together again. I supported President Obama because he spoke so beautifully. He promised change, but things changed for the worse. Obama